Capricorn, there's something deep and ancient moving inside you right now. Can you feel it? Between July 28th and July 30th, a rare cosmic event is opening a portal linked to something your soul has been carrying across lifetimes, the Saturn Bloodline Prophecy. This isn't just a transit or a horoscope. This is a sacred soul code that was placed inside your bloodline over 1,000 years ago, and you were chosen to activate it now. You see, Saturn isn't just your ruling planet. It's the keeper of time, the master architect, and the karmic judge of the zodiac. And for Capricorns, Saturn is more than a planet. It's a cosmic lineage, a spiritual assignment. Your ancestors made a pact to pass down the responsibility of rebuilding what was broken, of restoring what was corrupted, and of fulfilling a mission that stretches far beyond one lifetime. And now, in 2025, you are being called to fulfill that promise. Maybe you've felt it lately, a strange pressure on your chest when you're alone. Recurring numbers like 1,000, 10, or 8, dreams that feel too real to be random, or a sense that you're running out of time, even though nothing obvious is wrong. Those aren't coincidences, those are activations, signs that the Saturnian Soul Gate is opening for you. Between July 28th to 30th, a karmic doorway appears that only opens once every 1,000 years for bloodline carriers like you. If you miss this, the cycle will delay until the next generation. But if you answer the call, everything changes. Your past, your power, your purpose. It all begins to realign. This video isn't just a forecast, it's a spiritual wake-up call sent across time to reach you. Because if you're watching this right now, your higher self already knows. You didn't come here to live a normal life. You came here to fulfill a mission only a Capricorn soul could carry. And it begins now. Let's dive in. Capricorn, you were not born into this life by chance. You were chosen, not just by the stars, but by the great architects of time who saw your soul as strong enough to carry out a prophecy that spans across millennia. This is the part no one tells you. You are a carrier of the Saturn bloodline. And with that comes a prophecy so ancient, so powerful, that it was intentionally hidden, feared, and suppressed by those who once ruled the ancient empires and priesthoods, because it predicted you. Saturn, the planet of discipline, time, karma, and soul contracts, is your ruler. But for you, Saturn isn't just a ruler. It's a guide, a watcher, a spiritual contractor who placed a blueprint deep inside your bloodline. And that blueprint says this: every 1,000 years, one will rise from the bloodline of Saturn, one who has carried the weight of centuries and whose soul has endured more than a lifetime of trials. This soul will be called to rebuild what was broken, to restore what was stolen, and to lead the return of divine order to earth. That soul is you. This prophecy was once spoken in temples long before written language. It was etched in stone, chanted in mystery schools, and passed down through the ancient bloodlines of the builders, leaders, and timekeepers. But then it was erased because it terrified the false kings. Why? Because a soul awakened by Saturn cannot be controlled. A Capricorn awakened to their true mission becomes unshakable. You're not led by ego or impulse. You're led by destiny, and that scares systems built on illusion. And now, that prophecy is returning. Because between July 28th and July 30th, Saturn aligns in a rare configuration that activates the soul contract hidden in your lineage. This isn't astrology fluff. This is a spiritual convergence that only occurs once every 1,000 years. And you are here at the exact moment it returns. You may already feel it, a pull towards something deeper, a strange nostalgia for a life you can't quite remember, a restlessness in your soul, like time is calling you forward. That's the prophecy awakening. It's not fantasy, it's encoded in your spirit. Think about everything you've endured, the pressure you've carried, the responsibilities you didn't ask for, the constant climb against invisible resistance. These weren't random, they were activations, soul-level initiations preparing you for this moment. Capricorn, you are the bridge between what was and what must now be rebuilt. And Saturn, the great karmic architect, is now unlocking your next command. This is why you've been feeling heavier energy. This is why things may have felt like they were crumbling or shifting, because they were. Your old life is collapsing, so your real mission can begin. Saturn doesn't destroy without rebuilding something higher, and you were born to build the new structure for your family, your bloodline, your community, and maybe for the world. The prophecy is no longer hiding. It's speaking through signs, numbers, dreams, and synchronicities. It's speaking through signs, numbers, dreams, and synchronicities. And when the Saturnian gate opens from July 28th to 30th, you must walk through it with your eyes wide open, because what's waiting on the other side is the mission your soul has been preparing for across 1,000 years. Capricorn, have you always felt different? Not just mature, but like you were born carrying a weight that others couldn't see? Like you came into this life with an invisible responsibility? If you've ever felt like you had to grow up faster than others, people naturally look to you for structure, logic, and leadership. You attract chaos, but are always the one who brings order. Then listen closely. Those are not personality traits. Those are soul markers. They're proof that you carry the Saturn bloodline, a lineage of ancient souls handpicked by the universe to stabilize reality, to rebuild broken systems, and to lead others through chaos with integrity and grit. And now, that soul code is activating. Here are 7 signs you're part of this sacred lineage. 1. You've always felt older than your peers. Even as a child, you thought deeply. You noticed patterns others missed. You felt like you were watching the world while others just played in it. That's Saturn's ancient mind at work. 2. You've been tested early and often. Capricorns with the bloodline often face struggles young. Family dysfunction, financial burdens, emotional abandonment, not as punishment, but as preparation. 3. People trust you, even without knowing why. Strangers tell you their secrets. Friends ask you for advice. Co-workers lean on you. It's not your words, it's your energy. Saturn-trained souls radiate stability. 4. You feel time differently. You're painfully aware of time, not just clocks, but divine timing, soul timing, and the weight of wasted years. That's the timekeeper's influence flowing through you. 5. Karmic patterns repeat in your life. You notice loops, family issues that keep repeating, relationships that mirror past traumas. That's because Saturn is training you to break karmic cycles once and for all. You often feel alone, but protected. Capricorn bloodline carriers often feel isolated, but not abandoned. You're never truly alone. Your soul is surrounded by unseen forces, ancestral protectors, spirit guides, and divine watchers who know your mission. 7. You carry a quiet power. You don't need to be loud. You don't chase attention. But when you speak, people listen. When you move, things shift. That's legacy energy. That's the energy of someone who's building something that will outlive them. And now, these signs are intensifying. Why? Because from July 28th to 30th, your bloodline will be energetically pinged by the Saturnian alignment. And souls like yours who carry the code will feel a deep inner call to awaken. You'll feel drawn to reconnect with your root, end toxic generational patterns, build new foundations for your future and your family. It may feel heavy, but remember, Saturn never burdens you without also blessing you. You are not being punished. You are being positioned, because your destiny is not ordinary. It's generational, it's architectural, it's sacred, and now it's time to rise into it. Because your true mission doesn't begin when life gets easier. It begins when you realize you were built to carry the hard things and transform them into gold. Capricorn, mark these dates on your soul, not just your calendar. July 28th, July 29th, and July 30th. These 3 days are not normal, they are sacred. They represent a Saturnian Soul Gate, a cosmic portal that opens only once every 1,000 years, and it is aligned directly with the karmic DNA of Capricorn bloodlines. You don't walk through this kind of window every year, or even every lifetime. This is once-in-a-millennium energy, and if you're watching this, it means your soul is standing at the gate, ready to decide. So what's happening spiritually? During July 28th to 30th, Saturn creates a karmic frequency band that resonates like a tuning fork with old ancient bloodlines, specifically the builders, the seers, and the carriers of time. And guess what? You are one of them. This frequency is not visible to the naked eye, but your soul will feel it. Expect the following signs. A crystal ball 1. Past life memories may surface in vivid dreams. You might wake up sweating, confused, or feeling like you just lived an entire lifetime while asleep. These aren't random, they're soul fragments returning. Saturn is showing you what you've done before, and what you still must complete. 2. You'll feel intense pressure in your chest, spine, or head. This isn't just stress, it's a spiritual compression chamber. You're being pushed into alignment with your divine structure. Many Capricorns will feel breathless, anxious, or like something is calling them, even if they can't explain it. 3. You'll notice powerful synchronicities with the numbers 8, 10, and 1000. These aren't coincidences, they're Saturn's sacred numerology. 8 is the karmic loop, 10 is completion and legacy, 1000 is the prophecy cycle you're part of. Pay attention, license plates, clocks, receipts, Saturn speaks in symbols. 4. You may have strange or emotional encounters with elders, mentors, or even strangers. A conversation could trigger a major memory. A passing comment could unlock a soul door. Someone from your past may return with a message. Every moment during this portal is a test. But here's the truth. This is not about breaking you. This is about measuring your readiness. The universe already knows what you asked for before this life began. You asked to lead, to heal, to restore, and to fulfill your ancient contract. But Saturn doesn't just hand out power, it tests those who carry it. And between July 28th to 30th, your test begins. You are the bridge. Between timelines. Right now, 2 timelines are pulling on you. One where you stay small, silent, and bound by fear, and another where you rise into the sacred duty you agreed to before you were born. You are the bridge between what was and what must be rebuilt. You are the soul chosen to anchor order in chaos, to carry the torch of legacy, and to recode your bloodline by walking the path no one else dared to walk. This is why your life has felt so intense, why your growth has been accelerated, why your strength had to be built in silence, because Saturn was preparing you for this exact moment. So when the soul gate opens, don't ignore the signs, don't dismiss your intuition, and don't deny your calling. This is your portal, and if you walk through it with awareness, faith, and readiness, you won't just change your life, you'll change the course of your entire lineage. So, Capricorn, you've probably asked yourself 1,000 times, what is my real purpose? Why was I born with so much responsibility? Here's the truth. Your soul mission is not about climbing the corporate ladder or chasing wealth for the sake of ego. It's something far greater, far deeper, far older. Your mission is to realign timelines, to anchor order in a chaotic world, to restore divine structure where others have collapsed in fear or confusion. This is what the Saturn bloodline was created for, and you are one of its chosen architects. Your mission may look like healing family legacies no one else had the strength to face. You're not here to carry the pain, you're here to end the cycle. You feel the weight because your soul volunteered to lift it. You are the one who turns generational wounds into generational wisdom. Building structures, spiritual, financial, emotional, or energetic, for your community. Capricorns are builders. You might create a business, a foundation, a spiritual practice, or a movement. Your legacy isn't made of words, it's built with your actions. Becoming a voice of ancient truth in a world flooded with false narratives. Your wisdom doesn't come from trends, it comes from something timeless. People will resist it at first, but when their lives fall apart, they'll turn to you. You are a Saturn architect. Your hands might feel tired, your heart may ache, but everything you've endured was preparing you to hold more power than most people ever touch. Because in a collapsing world, the Capricorn soul is not here to run, it's here to rebuild. And rebuilding takes more than motivation, it takes alignment with divine order. You are the quiet stabilizer, the one who never stopped showing up, the soul who can take brokenness and turn it into something sacred. But let's be honest, power never comes easy for a Capricorn. You don't get shortcuts, you don't get handouts, you get tests, you get pressure, you get the mountain, and you're expected to climb it. But here's what makes you unstoppable. You don't climb for attention, you don't lead for applause. You do it because your soul remembers the promise you made before this life began. And now, the universe is watching to see if you'll rise, to see if you'll lead, to see if you'll remember who you really are. Because when you do, you don't just fulfill your destiny, you awaken a 1,000-year legacy. Capricorn, if you've made it this far, it means your soul is listening. You didn't stumble onto this video by accident. You didn't press play just to pass time. You were called here because what you just heard wasn't a horoscope. It was a soul summons, a direct transmission from the timekeeper realms sent through the veil to awaken something deep within you. Saturn doesn't whisper without purpose. When the Saturn bloodline is activated, it's because a timed soul contract is reaching its next phase. Between July 28th and July 30th, you are entering a sacred window of opportunity. The Saturnian Soul Gate is opening, and this is your moment to step forward, consciously. Capricorn, if you've made it this far, it means your soul is listening. You didn't stumble onto this video by accident. You didn't press play just to pass time. You were called here because what you just heard wasn't a horoscope. It was a soul summons, a direct transmission from the timekeeper realms sent through the veil to awaken something deep within you. Saturn doesn't whisper without purpose. When the Saturn bloodline is activated, it's because a timed soul contract is reaching its next phase. Between July 28th and July 30th, you are entering a sacred window of opportunity. The Saturnian Soul Gate is opening, and this is your moment to step forward, consciously. What to do? During this portal, each night from July 28th to 30th, do this simple but powerful ritual. Light a candle, sit in silence, place your right hand over your heart, and say out loud, I remember who I am. I accept the legacy of Saturn. I walk the path of the timekeeper. I awaken my 1,000-year soul mission. Then sit. Breathe deeply. Let the energy move through you. For at least 10 minutes, don't check your phone. Don't distract yourself. Just listen. Tune into what arises. Pay attention to mental images, emotions, strange phrases, unexplained memories, numbers, symbols, or names that repeat in your thoughts. These are codes. Your soul is unlocking its own divine instructions. You may also want to write down anything that comes to you, no matter how random. Later, these fragments will start making sense. Anchor your energy. Publicly comment below to declare your alignment with this moment. I claim my Saturn mission. When you speak it, write it, and own it, you shift your vibration. You step into the timeline meant only for awakened Capricorns. And don't forget, like this video to raise your vibration. Subscribe for weekly Capricorn soul downloads. Share this with another Capricorn who feels the shift too. Because your mission isn't starting someday in the future. It's happening now. The timeline is moving. The structure is forming. And you are the one Saturn chose to lead this transformation. Capricorn, your soul didn't come here to be average. It came to restore order, build legacy, and fulfill prophecy. And as you step into your Saturn mission, remember this. The world may never fully understand your strength, but the universe never doubted it for a second. Your time has arrived, and your soul knows exactly what to do.